Yes, Shaukat Fonseca Mame.
Yes, sir.
This has been a long time coming.
Yes, I mean, I've always wanted to sit down here and talk with you.
Yeah. Like, we were trying to plan this, like, before the MCO.
Before the MCO. I think it was actually 1 week before the MCO that was supposed to be.
Yeah,
there.
it was going to happen. It was really going to happen.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, oh.
I think we set the date on the first week of the MCO.
Yes.
And then I remember saying something like I'm not comfortable going out. And stuff.
Yeah, and then even at my end, I was like, oh, because I think, granted, both of us, we're family men, we have kids.
Yep, that's true.
So we understand,
the
right?
main concern is the kids.
Yeah, the main concern is the kids. Yeah. I mean, based on, like, I think, I've been hearing, like, reports about this COVID-19, the people that get infected.
Yep.
Generally, if you're in good health and not run down, you probably will be fine.
Yeah.
But it's those that are, like, a bit more vulnerable. So,
yeah.
Honestly, I think you could beat it, no problem, lah.
I wouldn't want to find out. I wouldn't want to find out.
The match of all, the one match you will never take, lah.
I'll never fight COVID-19. I don't want to fight COVID-19.
All right, so, dude, from the first day I met you, like, the path you were on, the moment I heard that it existed, I was like, oh my god, I have mad respect for this guy. I think he's crazy, I don't know if it will work out, but I damn sure hope it works out for him. And the longer I knew you, and saw you kept working, I was like, okay, this guy really, like, he's not messing around with this stuff, and like it's really like all or nothing thing. And of course, I'm talking about MYPW and wrestling, like pro wrestling. We're not talking about the amateur stuff. We're not talking about like bodybuilding just for body. We're talking about, like, pro wrestling.
Pro wrestling.
Which, I think you go to anyone out there, the general public, even when you mention like WWE, some of them start laughing.
Yep, that's true.
Because it's not a sport, it's fake. And then when you tell them that, hey, Malaysia has like a circuit, they're like, sure or not? It's so unbelievable to them, And it's not as if like growing up, it's not as if like that was a possible career choice for all of us, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me get into this.
Sure, go ahead.
Star invading my space.
Like what was the year that you first found out about MYPW?
It wasn't that long ago. I think you guys was still. This was before you guys moved to Kota Damansara, so probably like a year before that.
I think it was 2017-ish or
about 2017, 2016-ish, I think.
Okay,
yeah, that would have been right. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
what
like,
got you on that path, man? 'Cause, dude, it's
it's pro wrestling.
yeah, but it's not like growing up you can see, okay, if it's like you do like acting as well, stunt work and or directing as well.
Yep.
So okay, at least that you're like growing up. Okay, there's movies, there's like there's a local media scene and all this kind of stuff. But what you've done and what you've decided to go through was to not start a business. But like kickstart an entire industry from zero.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So like you said, a lot of people thought that I was crazy when I started talking about the idea.
Yeah.
Because I might be crazy, but I'm also a very realistic person, and I always like to assess the risk before I jump to something. So pro wrestling has always been my passion growing up. I started watching wrestling when I was 4 years old. First match was Undertaker vs. Kamala, Survivor Series casket match. And I was 4 years old, and I can still remember clearly what happened in the match. That is how beautiful pro wrestling is to me, the storytelling aspect, the characters and everything. So growing up, me and my siblings, we would always watch wrestling. My brother would always rent out those WWF tapes.
Yeah,
VHS stores.
Yeah,
so we would watch it together, and then all of us grow up becoming wrestling fans, except for my brother. He kind of like matured out of it. He stopped after the Montreal screw job because his favorite was Bret Hart.
Yeah.
So me and my sisters, we continue watching the WWF all the way till it got rebranded to WWE until today. I've always wanted to be a pro wrestler. I've always played wrestling with my bolsters and my friends at schools, and but that's just the thing. Like everyone enjoyed watching wrestling. They enjoyed playing wrestling and stuff, but nobody thought that they wanted to become a pro wrestler.
Yeah, and I remember I remember I was very into wrestling when I was a kid as well. So I remember that thing of like seeing all these, because WWE, they get like the biggest guys,
Yeah, it's true.
the most larger than life people, and
Correct.
especially during that the Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan era,
Yes.
they were even bigger back then,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So like it was very early on for me that I kind of like said, okay, like maybe like there's a possibility for me to get into this, but not what the guys are doing in the ring,
Mhm.
because like I'm this like tiny little Chinese boy, in Malaysia, and I'm like, there's no way lah. There's no way I'm gonna like build myself up. But dude, I know some people call it like, oh, lack of like representation, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
But when it comes to that stuff, like size does matter,
Mhm.
like the physicality, right? Building up yourself.
Yeah.
So like, how was that not a barrier for you? Was that not a
That was definitely a barrier because, like you said, like you thought you were a small Chinese boy, and I'm right here thinking that I'm just this little Malay boy from Malaysia,
yeah?
and I'm short as well. I'm not short. I say I'm vertically challenged.
Me too, man. Me
Yeah,
too.
we are vertically challenged, and it has always been a thought in my head that I would never be able to make it because of that. But the least that I could do is start working my way towards it. So because of pro wrestling, I actually started going to the gym when I was 14, and I started learning about all this scientific stuff about bodybuilding and whatnot. So my journey began when I was 14 years old. Like I started going to the gym. I got pretty good definition. I looked athletic when I was in high school, and as the years went on and on, I think I was 23 years old. When I was 23 years old, I figured out that I have to try because I'm in the stunt industry. So stunt and wrestling, not much difference. So I thought to myself, like, why not?
How did you get into the stunt industry to begin with?
Oh, okay, right. So basically, when I was in high school, I used to do I actually started acting when I was 7 years old.
Wow. Okay.
So I had a supporting role in this old drama series on RTM called Opa.
Okay.
It was very popular back then. So after that, I started doing just small roles and stuff for TV and commercials and series and stuff. So when I was 14, actually, I was acting in this movie set. It's a horror movie. So during that point of shoot, it wasn't my scene yet, but one of the stunt guys got hurt while attempting a stunt. So they needed to find someone similar size to the artist to play as a double. So I actually volunteered. Yes.
Okay. Before this, you didn't have any experience
have
with
an
stunt work
experience.
or anything really. Okay.
So this was wire work, like the rigging stuff where they make you fly and whatnot. So I thought that I just said like, look, I'm her size. Her size.
Her size.
Her size.
Okay.
I was 14 back then. I was a scrawny boy. So I said, look, I'm her size. If you want to try me out, I'm
You're
good
up
to
for
go.
it lah, yeah.
So they didn't have any choice because they didn't have anyone of her size on that set. So they gave me a short course on how to maneuver in wire work.
You say short course, but they just told you how to do it on set.
Yeah, basically. It's a crash course. And within an hour, they had trained me how to do wire work and stuff.
Short course makes it sound like, okay, I spent 3 days, like they taught me. No, it was just right then and there.
It was right then and there. Just so happens that because I've been training in martial arts as well. I did Aikido, karate, whatever I can learn basically back then. So I'm a very fast learner when it comes to physical stuff. And because of that, I picked up very quickly. And we did the stunts, and it went perfect.
Okay.
Except for one point during the final take, one of the cables snapped. And it sent me flying and swinging and dragged me across the concrete floor.
Oh.
And I had bruises and stuff, but they paid me quite well to not talk about it.
All right. Well, I guess the money ran out.
Yeah, but ever since then, this stunt team, they took me under their wing and they called me for different jobs and whatnot. So I started doing stunts and just continued to grow after that.
Okay, so like the whole stunt industry. Okay, I wasn't very aware of it until I saw this video about like the tribute to Jackie Chan, where he was talking about his crew and the brotherhood, and because then it dawned on me, I was like oh gosh, like you guys are like throwing yourselves off roofs and going through tables, going through chairs or furniture, whatever it is, and like you really need that person on the other end to totally have your back.
Yep, that's true.
So like going from that to like pro wrestling, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's about the same, I think.
Yeah. But with stunt, it's like it's highly coordinated.
Yeah.
And it's a one-off.
Yep.
Pro wrestling is like having that stuff going on like
all the time.
clockwork all the time.
All the time. And speaking about trust, like you mentioned before, like having the trust and depend on someone. There was one of these stunt that I did back then in 2011. This was you know the Pekeliling flats. So at Jalan Pahang before it got torn down, right?
Yeah.
So we were shooting there, and there was a scene where the villain needed to jump off from the 13th floor. So it was a wide shot. You can see everything going on. So they got me to stand in for the villain, and this was very scary in a way because they didn't have mats down there, and they had me on cable, and there's no mechanical brake. It was just guys holding the ropes. So it was a free fall thing. It wasn't even the slow.
Yeah, it's not like a
descent.
slow descent, right?
It was like they'll release, and then as I fall, as I'm about to reach the 4th floor, they'd grab the ropes and break with their legs. So at that point, I didn't want to do it first because I thought to myself, like, you know what, it's not worth it. You know, I trust you guys, I love you guys, but you know, my life is like more.
Yeah, I love God, but I can wait a while before I meet him.
So but then they offered me like 13,000 to do this job.
Oh God!
And I was like, oh, I really need the money right now. I really need the money right now.
Okay, but I don't know if you're not comfortable addressing this here, can tell me later. But is it legal? Is this stuff like above board or is it like a willing buyer willing seller thing?
Yeah, it's a willing buyer willing seller thing, especially in Malaysia, because we back then 2011 we didn't have any standards to follow and whatnot.
Yeah, okay.
It was just guys figuring out how to do stunts.
Yeah,
that was how it worked back then. Like these days, we have guys coming in from Australia giving us courses and whatnot. So
so it's very
we
different.
know the gold standard. Like, if you want to do this stunt, this is how you do it.
Okay.
Like back then, it's like
Okay, how? Okay, we need him to fall, and then after that, we need him to not die.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
don't have
exactly.
the mat. We don't have the. We
so
don't have
we
the
just break manually.
break
Okay?
out, just pull out.
Trust us, okay, bro? Sorry.
Trust us.
All right, cool.
Oh man, let's do it. Inshallah.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, like that was one of the craziest stunts that I did before, and it was the first and last I did.
13
like
grand.
that.
That's
I mean, it helped me to last.
That's motivation, lah. That's
throughout the
motivation.
year. Yeah. Okay, because you know, like back then, stuntmen got paid very little as well. Like you know, actors, they get paid hundreds of thousands of ringgit. Sometimes even like minimum is like 60,000 ringgit to act in a film. Stunt guys, we put our lives on the line.
That's the thing, right? Like with the actors, okay. To be fair, actors, there are the ones that get paid peanuts.
Yeah.
Right. But at least there's that possibility of like, if you make it big, you know, you land a big role or you become famous or whatever,
then you'll get
that you can
very
pull in
nice.
the big bucks. No one has ever heard of a famous stunt guy.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah. So like we got paid like, you know, sometimes even up to 80 ringgit per day.
Oh,
to
dang.
take car hits or sometimes fall on the table or something. So at that point, the stunt industry was very, I would say it was at its infancy, because back then we were just starting to do a lot of action movies back then. Me myself at that year I coordinated like 12 films.
Wow.
Because at that point everyone was doing gangster mat empit movies and whatnot.
Okay.
And even awal cerita hantu and stuff. Do you remember that point where
there was a lot of like
hantu kapcai rempit motor? It's kind of
every hantu was on every
cinema posters.
Yeah, every mode of public transport lah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I mean, like back then was the era that stunt actually started to bloom in Malaysia.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
this is very recent then actually.
Yeah, quite recent actually.
Okay.
So the jump to pro wrestling was when I decided, like, you know what, I really want to be a pro wrestler. I've endured laughters and ridicule and whatnot, so just want to prove people that I can do it. So that's when I started to think that you know what, let's just try to start a wrestling school, start a wrestling scene, see what happens. But before I started that, what I did was I surveyed around and see if it was possible, because like, I know people enjoy watching WWE and pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But I didn't know for a fact that it would pick up and do well in this country. Because, you know, whatever we do, people always compare us to WWE.
Yeah, exactly.
Even till today. So, like, back then, the person who got me started this industry is Booker T. So, sat down with him. I won a contest from TV3. Sat down with him for lunch and I asked him the question. I said, like, I really want to be a pro wrestler. I can't afford to go outside or do anything. But I cannot start industry. I cannot be one here as well because there's no industry. There's nothing. There's not even a school. So you say like, you know what? Just start it on your own, because if you don't, nobody will. So that's when I decided to take the plunge and try to open up the scene based on my stunt experience and what I've learned with stunts, because it's about the same.
Yeah.
The way you break falls, the way you take care of your safety and everything is about the same. It's just that back then I was still very green. I didn't know the performative aspect of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So that I was actually taught by Dr. Tom Pritchett.
Okay.
He is the guy who trained wrestlers like The Rock, Edge, Hardy Boys.
Oh, dang.
Back then in the Attitude Era.
All right.
So we did a thing where he gave me a syllabus to follow, his training syllabus, and all of us in Malaysia Pro Wrestling, we train based on his syllabus.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so that's how we actually grew to become the level that we are today.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, like something something as basic as like taking a fall.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You came from the stunt industry.
Yep.
Right. So you've been taught and
Yeah.
you've learned how to do it, and you've experienced it. You know, because let's face it, like you can teach anybody to fall, but whether or not they decide they want to learn after they take that first fall, it's a different story, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So was that a hard thing when it came to like looking for other people to get into this and to want to do this? Because it's nice to imagine that you're holding the championship belt and you climb the turnbuckle and like you know, like the Rock's music is playing in the background, right? But to fall off, like to actually hit the mat,
Yep.
you know, and then you decide, oh, is this what I want to do in my life? Like, is that a big challenge?
That's the thing. When it comes to pro wrestling, a lot of people think it's easy because they think it's ala berlakon je, or it's fake. A lot of people think that it's something easy to emulate and do because, you know, some people actually, when they come to me, they say like, well, you know what, I have like 6 years of wrestling. Where do you wrestle? With my friends. So that's how some people think, how some people think how easy it is to learn wrestling.
Yeah.
They take it for granted to that point. So I'm like, sorry bro, wrestling is not about, if you play your friends, that's play fight.
Yeah.
You're not doing pro wrestling. Pro wrestling has a whole deeper aspect to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the reason why we do tryouts. Tryout is not for us, because when I mention tryouts, a lot of people's head, they imagine it's an audition.
Yeah.
They think it's like they go through whatever and then we choose who gets to continue and stuff. Not really. Tryout is for them to try out pro wrestling and see if it's for them.
they think it's like America's Got Talent kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not. It's for them because like 99% of the time, a lot of people will not continue after the first tryout because you have a taste of running the ropes. Some people think that you don't like running the ropes is easy, but the ropes are actually like our ropes are made of steel.
Yeah.
And the outer layer is plastic PVC. It's not even hose. It's not even like getah. It's plastic PVC. So like when you run full force to a rope with steel underneath it, it'll definitely bruise your back. It hurts. And then when it comes to the bumps is term for falling on the back.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the bumps, this is when a lot of people cannot tahan.
Yeah.
Because on screen the ring looks bouncy, but in reality it's only bouncy because there's this layer of foam we use as padding. It's made out of SBE, like the ones on the walls here.
Yeah.
So basically, I think it's pretty logical for you to bounce off a foam, right?
Yeah.
But that's just about it. That's the bounce that you see on TV and whatnot. It's not a bouncy ring. It's not springy. It's not
your mattress at home.
It's not a mattress. It's not a trampoline. So when you take a bump, it hurts and it knocks the wind out of you.
Yeah.
So as wrestlers, you need to condition yourself to keep on falling over and over and over again so that you get used to it. So when they start taking bumps, this is when we see a lot of people try give excuses like, coach, I have to go to the toilet. Then they chow terus.
Oh man.
Like, coach, I have a thing to attend to at home. Then hilang. So this is when we weed out those who can actually stay, and those who think it's easy, and once they have a feel of it, they want to chow.
But is taking bumps like, okay, like closest comparison I can find would be like something like Muay Thai, right? Like Muay Thai, people say if you get into Muay Thai, there's this whole thing about conditioning your shins and your fists and all that, because if you're not used to like kicking with your legs or whatever, kicking a heavy bag for 15 minutes, no, even 5 minutes, afterwards it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But if you have to keep doing it so that you build up resistance.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully in time when you kick it again, that it won't hurt as much, or it won't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
So with taking bumps, is it the same? Is it a build up thing, or is it like a mental thing?
It's both actually, because like as humans, we are used to not want to fall on our backs.
Yeah.
Like we fall, we try to hide with our hands or our elbows and whatnot. But in wrestling, we have to fall on our back because number one, it looks good, and number two, it's the safest way to fall because you distribute the impact on your back. See, it's even scientific. You distribute impact on your entire back.
Yeah.
So I would say it's conditioning and mental at the same time. You have to get rid of the block where you have to just let yourself fall. And secondly, you have to get used to the impact over and over again, because I have heard of cases where backyard wrestlers, guys who are untrained, they go into matches and then they burst their lungs.
Burst their lungs?
Yeah, because of the impact that they take from it. So it's about the same, because if I were to quote even AJ Pyro, he used to wrestle with us, right? He's a professional MMA fighter. He's a champion in Asia, and he's former 1FC lightweight champion and whatnot. So he cannot you cannot doubt him when he says this. He says that at least in MMA, we are trained to block and dodge attacks. But in pro wrestling, we purposely hit ourselves and fall on our back and hurt ourselves. So it's two separate things.
That is a very, very smart way to describe it, though. It's very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, because at least in MMA and boxing or whatever, right? You have heard of guys who, this guy can throw a punch but he can't take one on the chin.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
But with wrestlers, it's like, no, you gotta.
You have to take it.
Yeah. If anything, you have to take it more than you can dish it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So how was it like starting this? Because I would imagine, okay, it's you, right? And then you have to it's gonna take money. It's gonna take manpower. It's gonna take resources and all this kind of stuff. So how did you manage all that? Because honestly, at this stage, it really is like, okay, I'm this 23-year-old guy and I really want to do this, and the only way to do it is if I start it. So I'm gonna kickstart it on my own, and I'm gonna. How did you conceptualize everything?
Right. So basically, what I did was with the basic syllabus that I have, I started asking around if there are people who are interested to join and whatnot.
Yeah.
And if you guys are interested, how much would you pay? So on and so forth. And then what happened was I used the honeymoon money that I saved my wife, and we opened up the first wrestling school, which was in Bandar Tunisia on Cheras. And until today, we haven't been on the honeymoon yet.
Oh man!
Which I promise you, sayang, we will go for honeymoon probably next 2 years or so.
But you but it's like that. It's this kind of commitment where that this is the woman for you, lah.
Yeah, that's true.
You do not turn your back on this woman.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, for someone to say yes, she can just forego. What? It's okay. We can go anytime in the future. And then just continue to do your stuff. Maybe it's good for us or not. And then 2 annaks later, still haven't been for our honeymoon.
It's coming. It will come.
Yeah. I think.
Oh gosh. So how many years has MYPW been around already?
The first setup of the school was in 2014.
All right.
So I think this is our 6th year. March we went to our 6th year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gradually coming off this MCO thing, this kind of stuff. And on my Facebook feed, I see a lot of people, especially the athletic guys, especially the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, going absolutely just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Because gyms are not allowed to open, they can't train and all
no
that.
Contact sports as
no contact sports. So on your end, I see that you've been doing home workouts and showing people how to do home workouts as well.
Yeah.
How has that been so far? And you've been back to the gym already, right? They started to reopen
for
already.
the past 3 weeks, I think.
All right.
Yeah. So for me, the main reason why I created the home workouts was mainly for my students. But then since I was doing it for them, why not just share with everyone?
Yeah.
Because I believe that even though it's downtime, it's MCO and whatnot, we still have to stay in shape, because anytime it could be lifted and we can start training, going back to training again. Because if you guys don't stay in shape, and then we have to go through the whole thing to recondition our body, get back the stamina, so on and so forth. So like,
because it's not like you get that muscle and then like it stays with you forever, guys.
Yeah, that's true. So like even I've had people texting me and messaging me on DM or not saying that, you know what, your program helped me to lose 10 kilos. It's like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, so this is like random people who follow me and they just tried out the workout for fun. And a lot of them actually had good results and whatnot. So I think that it's a good thing that in a way I'm helping people besides my students. But the main point of doing it was to inspire them and to help them, stay in shape while, this whole thing is going on.
Yeah. So are you still planning to like share your fitness routines and all that with the world?
I would love to. It's just that unfortunately now I'm very tied up with stuff. As you can see, I have been updating a lot of stuff about wrestling as well.
Yeah.
I took the downtime to focus more on the business aspect of wrestling, like growing it as a business instead of focusing on the in-ring stuff and the shows and whatnot. So as soon as we went into the recovery phase, a lot of industries were allowed to operate again. So that's when I got busy again. But definitely planning to, if I have some time, I'll shoot some stuff at the weekend and then release it throughout the week and whatnot.
How's the business end for
MYPW?
Yeah, because it's one thing to aspire to be a performer. It's another thing to aspire to be a businessman.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Has that been a steep learning curve for you? Or?
It has been, because like for me, until today, I'm still learning about business and how to run it and everything. So I have like my partner, like Datin Maria. She's the one who's helping me on the business aspect and whatnot. And then I've also learned throughout the MCO, I have taken like 8 to 9 courses on business.
Dang.
And negotiating and closing and marketing and whatnot, because these are the skills that I need to grow the business anyways. And it helped a lot because I've been able to close a lot of deals ever since we got out of the restricted phase.
Yeah.
So muscle recovery phase, I had a lot of meetings that I've scheduled beforehand. So I went in with new confidence, with new knowledge and whatnot, and we closed a lot of deals. So moving forward, you'll see a lot more stuff coming from the pro wrestling scene in Malaysia.
But was it... Okay, learning curve aside, because I think with a lot of performers especially, there's this thing of like not wanting to handle the business end, because there's this whole I just want to focus on my art, I want to focus on performing, I want to focus on my audience. This stuff is did you have that struggle within yourself?
I did not, because honestly, like, I've been educated by my peers. Like during the MCO stage, I've been distance coaching with Sin Bodhi, with Booker T, with Tom Pritchett. So they continue to teach me more about this business, this industry. And you cannot run away from the business aspect.
That's true.
So if you want to become successful as a performer, you need to understand the business.
Yeah.
So this is what I've been drilling my students as well. Like, you know what? You have to understand that pro wrestling is show business. And right now, you are all assets. Yeah. So how do you make yourself become valuable to companies across the world? That was how actually I got booked by Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's company. That's because I managed to learn that and I managed to make myself a valuable asset for them. So that's how I think, like, not just pro wrestling, performers as a whole.
Yeah.
You guys need to understand how the business works. Because I see a lot of my friends, like actors, they whine about not getting enough jobs and projects and whatnot. But why do you whine? Like, you have to understand why producers are not hiring you in the first place.
Yeah.
Why are they hiring guys who have name, guys who have followers and whatnot? It's because they are an asset.
That's true.
So I think artists and performers, they definitely have to focus on the business aspect, like growing their brand, growing their name, their followership, their fandom. So they will eventually become an asset to producers and companies around the world. That's a very good lesson to touch on. All right, so on that note, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna continue with part 2 with my man IS Shaukat Fonseca.
Hey everybody! If you like this podcast, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to Steven Bones Everything on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Podbean. You can find audio episodes of this podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and most major platforms. Thank you for your support. Okay, let's get back to our program.
And it's part 2 of the podcast, and we've got Mr. IS Shaukat Fonseca. So, we were talking about the business. Right, the business. So building your brand, building yourself to become an asset. Yep. So how have you been approaching that in the past few years?
All right, so this is something that I've just learned recently as well during the MCO actually, because like when we came to the lockdown, I came to a point where I was looking for things to do because all of my industry was shut down. I can't do filming, I can't do stunts, I cannot do wrestling,
Yeah.
I cannot do personal training in the gym. So I was just home with my family, playing with my kids. But then I needed to find things to do to keep myself productive.
And when did that mark come in?
I think it was the first week itself.
Oh, that's quick. That's quick. Yeah.
The first week itself, because I'm the kind of guy who needs to keep myself occupied. Because I feel a bit, I would even be depressed if I don't have anything to do. So like before it happens, I would rather just jump into something.
Yeah.
So what I did, the first thing that I do was I took distance coaching program with Tom Pritchett, Sin Bodhi, and Booker T.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would talk with El Snow and some other names in the industry.
How did you like even connect with them, man? Because these
so-
are like
Legends.
yeah.
Yeah, because Tom Pritchett is a very respectable person. So he basically connected me to the industry.
Nice.
And when you are recommended or basically introduced by someone of his stature,
Yeah.
confirm they layan you lah. Because
Yeah, it's like, you know, you walk into Astro's customer service,
yeah,
and when you're sent there by the CEO,
yeah, then everyone will be like, oh, yes, boss,
suddenly
yes,
everything
boss.
works.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
but you go by yourself.
And you go by yourself and be like, who's this?
Who's this guy?
I'm in Ombo.
You know more. Right, so you did the distance coaching with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And during this point, when I understood exactly what they mean with, if you want to become successful in pro wrestling, you have to understand the business aspect.
Yeah.
You have to understand why things happen the way they happen. Because so far, a lot of us focus too much on the performative aspect
Yeah.
and the mechanical aspect. Mechanical aspect being the things that we do in the ring, like the moves, the spots and whatnot. The performative is basically how to perform in front of the friends. So it's more than that. It's beyond that, because prior to this, a lot of us, especially in Southeast Asia, we focus more on those aspects and not on the business.
Yeah.
Because of how green we are. 6 years is nothing as compared to them in the States who have been over 100 years
Yeah.
there now. So 6 years is still, we are like babies. You're still trying to learn how to walk, talk, and whatnot. So at this point, they started teaching me the business aspect. Like, try to stop thinking in a fan's perspective. Because if you are thinking in a fan's perspective, then that makes you a fan.
Yeah.
That's not
You're kind
make
of in
you-
the dreamer mindset as opposed
Yes.
to you're in the trenches kind of thing. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like a lot of fans, they question why, like for example, WWE is the biggest giant, right?
Yeah.
They question why WWE does not use this guy more. Why WWE does not book this guy more? Why isn't this guy the champion? But then again, these are all just opinions of fans.
Yeah.
They don't understand how the business work and why they do the things that they do. So when I understand why companies book pro wrestlers, why companies push pro wrestlers to become champions and so on and so forth, that is when they'll start to see you as someone valuable to them. Basically a company man.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to work with dreamers who are like, oh, I want to be the champion one day.
But I
then-
want everyone to do everything else for me. I just want to
Exactly.
do this one thing, right?
Yeah. So if you understand the business aspect and you understand all the details about it, like why things happen the way they should be, that's when promoters will start to open the eyes and say like, hey, look, we can work with this guy.
Yeah.
So like some of the things that I've been doing subconsciously. I didn't even know that it was how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I started doing it in my past few matches before the MCO. And when Booker T watched the match, the video, and he said he saw me wrestling like someone who has been wrestling for over 20 years.
Dang.
And it was like, I can lead to him. So for me, I was like,
That
what?
is high
Like,
praise,
like,
man.
and it's coming
Yeah.
from Booker T,
Yeah.
like 2 times WWE
5
Hall of
times.
Famer.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, like I didn't expect that actually,
Yeah.
because like when we did the Zoom meeting, he went through the matches and stuff. I was like, mati laku.
Yeah, right.
I'm only in the business for 6 years.
Yeah,
And
you get critiqued.
and he was like, dude, you're in the business for 6 years, but you're working like someone who has been working for 20 years. He says the way I wrestle is like someone who has been wrestling and should be wrestling on high level wrestling, which is like WWE. And because of that, he wants to work with me. Like, you say, like, you know what? Like, before anyone snatch you, I want to snatch you.
Okay.
Come, let's join Reality of Wrestling. It's like,
Damn.
yeah, why not?
Is Reality of Wrestling a new promotion or is it?
It's actually been around for quite some time.
Okay.
They just rebranded to Reality of Wrestling, I think, about 5 years back.
Okay.
And it's the biggest company, wrestling company in Texas, and it's also on national TV as well.
Dang.
Yeah, so for someone, for a Malaysian to
Right.
be on US national TV, for me, that's a huge accomplishment. Because,
Yeah.
like, I don't think there's any other actors from Malaysia, for example,
Yeah.
who are born and bred in Malaysia.
Because I think most people who would conceive of this would be like, you know what? If he can be like the top in Malaysia, or at least something lah. Although like he's the one that started it, he's the one that
Yeah,
set it up.
correct.
And then like okay lah, maybe the best in Southeast Asia lah. You know,
Yeah.
because now we've got like the Philippines coming up and Singapore. But dude, heading to the States, that's
Yeah, and on national TV.
yeah. And the thing I like about it, it's not a variety token kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like when WWE did their what was it, the Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh, yeah.
And you have
that's
people
true.
from all over the world, and you're like, it's like okay, this is nice, but like a lot of them aren't gonna be sticking around.
Yeah.
Like it's a try. Everyone can tell that it's kind of a tryout.
Yeah,
kinda
it's
thing.
more of a marketing thing actually,
Yeah.
because they kind of want to get in the fans of certain countries to watch,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Like some of them are even not from India, but they credit as in India.
Yeah.
So they WWE do that a lot
Yeah.
to pull in the market, so
Yeah.
on. So it's all business decisions.
Yeah.
So like for something like this, it's huge. I don't think there's any other Southeast Asian wrestlers who has been on US TV before.
Yeah. I don't think so.
So when I debut, it's gonna be the first, and I'm supposed to be there now, because like they want me to be there as soon as possible and do the tapings and whatnot. But unfortunately, because of the travel ban,
Yeah.
so I can't fly there yet. But we're still in contact all the time, discussing about characters, discussing about things that I can bring over there and stuff. He has been very, very insightful and helpful on how to bring myself there and try to appeal to the fans there.
Yeah. But it's nuts, man. Like, okay, again, you're a family man. So would this mean that you would have to go over there on your own, or is the family coming with you?
I'll be
Or
flying there on my own, unfortunately, because they
Yeah.
don't cover the whole bunch. But my wife has come to a point where she is fine with it, because she believes that I can do it. She believes that, you know what,
yeah,
maybe
at least one of us gets a honeymoon.
That's true. Or maybe I could get the honeymoon money back from this
for
trip.
this one.
But I mean, like, it's something huge. I mean, to be on US TV.
Yeah.
So for her, it's like, you know what, I believe in you. Maybe this is just one step closer towards the bigger leagues, like WWE
Yeah.
and whatnot. So go ahead and do it. Especially with someone like Booker T helming it.
Yeah.
So he is someone who is very influential in the industry. He could be like, you know what, WWE, check this guy out. He's amazing in my show. Maybe you guys can take him now because he has my brand now. That kind of thing.
Yeah. But it's insane, man. Like, but okay, it's one thing to travel there. It's another thing to like work with the people there and compete. Because I would imagine, right? I'm not expert in this, but I would imagine that physicality wise, like generally when you go there, you're not gonna be the biggest guy in the room.
Yeah. that's
Right.
true.
Over here, there are instances where you are the biggest guy.
Yeah.
So you work very differently.
Yep.
But suddenly when you go there, like, is it gonna affect your game?
Definitely, most definitely, because here in South Asia, I'm considered to be a big guy
Yeah.
due to my size, even though I'm vertically challenged. But going there, especially a Reality of Wrestling, I've checked their roster and everything. A whole bunch of them are like bodybuilders and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll definitely be the smaller guy. So it will affect my game in a sense where I have to restructure the way how I work a match. It needs to make sense, like how someone smaller like me will be able to fight guys like that.
Yeah.
So here's this is the beautiful thing about wrestling, is that as long as you can tell the story in the ring, that's when you're valuable to the company. So this is the one reason when you were mentioning about the business aspect.
Yeah.
This is one of the main reason why I always tell people out there, especially in Southeast Asia, like, look, I understand you guys want to look cool in the ring. I understand you guys want to do all the impressive flippy stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
But for you to be noticed by mainstream companies who are on TV and whatnot, you have to focus on the business aspect. And one of the things that they're looking for in the business aspect is you appreciate storytelling. Because wrestling is not about all the fancy moves you do.
Yeah.
It's about telling a story. I mean, that's how I think even you fell in love with wrestling, even myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the stories that they tell in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, there are moves that you remember, but the biggest thing they remember is like, oh, who did what to who and how
Exactly.
and why they did
It's
it
the
and what
story.
happened. Yeah, the story.
Yeah,
It's always the
not
driving
the
force.
things, yeah. Like for example, okay, if I would say the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers the match. Everyone remembers the finish and the end. But they will also call it one of the greatest match in WrestleMania history.
Yeah.
But if you ask them specifically what did they do in between the matches, they wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
But they'll remember the story that they told. That's it.
Yeah, because it's like that's like asking like, how many steps did that guy take to jump in before he jumped into the helicopter?
Yeah.
Like, no, you just remember that he jumped into the helicopter. Like, how many steps?
Exactly.
But if that guy screwed up the running process, everyone would notice, and that
Yeah.
would just be the sore spot, lah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, like, okay, we all know that WWE is the big mothership, lah.
Yeah.
But I think there's been this new wave coming in, strongly pushed by the independent circuit. So okay, one thing that's happening regionally here, right, which makes sense because WWE doesn't have like training centers here and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So indie circuits are popping up here, and worldwide there seems to be more and more coming out.
Yeah.
Japan has always had a very strong presence, and now in the States you got AEW, which
Yeah.
is the guys like Cody Rhodes running it, and you got guys like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, guys which I normally like. I don't get to see them much because like I've always been like, oh, WWE.
yeah.
And you're used to all these like humongous guys and all that kind of stuff, like your Braun Strowmans or your Undertakers. Suddenly you go to AEW, it's like, okay, like it's smaller guys, but you don't really feel it because it's not like in the land of giants. Then suddenly there's one small guy. It's like they all look a little bit more average in terms of sizing, but the kind of weight that they bring to their matches, even when you don't watch the match, right? News about it cuts through the media, So like Kenny Omega has been showing up, and his name has been coming up, and he's always been associated with like legendary matches, like amazing style, this kind of stuff. The Young Bucks as well.
Yep.
So, do you see that as something that works in your favor? The fact that it doesn't like that something like AEW that is coming up and it's getting bigger and bigger. And the fact that you don't need to put all your hopes on the land of giants, so to speak.
Okay. So this is actually a double-edged. Like for me, I believe that AEW WWE thing is a double-edged thing. AEW, yes, it's a new platform. It's a new, like you said, it's a place where indie wrestlers can look forward to be in if they cannot make it to WWE.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you ask any wrestler in the world, like, where do you want to wrestle? WWE will always be the first choice.
The first one, right?
And then they'll always use this word. They'll say like, I know I'll get flamed for this. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but they'll use this word. Kalau tak dapat WWE pun, AEW pun jadilah. So
yeah,
it's always the second
consolation
choice.
prize, right?
Correct. So even if you see it in business perspective, WWE is a $14 billion dollar industry now.
Yeah.
It's the first place in the world now for a sports entity. AEW is not even in the top 10 when it comes to net value. So that alone tells you how much of a giant WWE is. So when it comes to a performer perspective, like for me, even as a businessman, even as an entrepreneur, even as a pro wrestler, I always want to aim big. I always want to go for the best. Like I don't want to think about plan B. I want to get to plan A.
Yeah.
So like for example, let's say as a performer, as a pro wrestler, I want to be in a place where I can perform in front of the most amount of people watching me.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care about the money comes second, the storyline comes second. Like some wrestlers, they think about, if I go there, I'm a small guy, and then they'll make me lose and they make me drop to all the bigger guys and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't care about that because for me as a pro wrestler, my story is to tell a story.
Yeah.
And I want to do it in front of millions of people because
Yeah.
WWE has like 20 million fans worldwide now.
Because partly why AEW was gaining so much traction was because of the support it got from their own wrestlers.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
They had guys like Dean Ambrose, who became John Moxley,
Yeah.
all defecting and all that. Partly because a lot of them felt like the WWE machinery wasn't taking care of people to a certain way. That like maybe back then it was impossible to really make good money on the indie circuit, but now it was like you're not gonna get John Cena money, right? Only John Cena gets John Cena money, right?
That's true.
But if the chances of you being able to do well, and having a lot more control over your career and your health and everything, like that seems to be part of why a lot of people are heading over to AEW and the indies as well. So I understand the WWE thing getting there, because of course everyone wants to play in big leagues, right?
Yeah.
But would it be a consideration for you, or even if like the AEW thing came along and then you're like, I still want WWE, or
for me personally, right now, because like I think since Reality of Wrestling is the first company that offered me, my main aim is just make it big in ROW, become one of the biggest stars in Texas first, and then probably I'll look at WWE. Like AEW is an amazing platform. I love
ROW will conquer AEW. That's
I love everyone in AEW, whatnot. All of my what I would say. This is not me being political and polite, but I really do respect everyone in the industry. It's just that I really want to perform in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
And I believe that WWE is the platform.
Awesome. So, dude, it's I still can't believe that you're heading to the States for this.
I can't believe it myself.
It's so crazy. You've also mentored a few very promising talents. There's been Iman the Kid. Yeah, who I think he's like, is he studying now or something like that?
He's studying in Australia.
But
at the same time, he's also one of the big names in Australia now. Like everyone is looking forward to watch his matches and whatnot there.
And he has a very like high flying,
yes,
very quick style, right? Yeah. And then the other big one, which was made the cover of Forbes magazine, Phoenix. Yeah. So could you talk to us more about Phoenix, because female representation is a big issue these days. But I've seen you conduct the tryouts, and like how like for male participants, sometimes there's a fee, to help cover the cost. But then like it's to this day it's always like, okay, like females get to try for free.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
females and teenagers below 16 years old free. Yeah. So
obviously, there is obviously you are trying to reach out to have more female on the rosters, lah. But how has that been? And having like Phoenix being a success story.
I think after her success, definitely a lot more girls coming in for tryouts.
Yeah.
But then again, the amount that stays is about the same, like 1% out of the people that come for tryouts. Because then again, like I said, tryouts is very, very tough, and a lot of them come in thinking it's gonna be easy. Yeah. But then once they try, and then they're gonna cabut.
Yeah, because I remember seeing matches where, because there weren't enough like female wrestlers on the show, that like the girls were to play with the boys, lah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But still, it's
I think that was what made Phoenix became viral as well, because she wrestled guys. But that's the thing. I really didn't want to put her in a situation because it was difficult for her as well to wrestle with guys, especially being hijabi and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I do believe that it was a necessary step to help her with her career, and I decided for her. Like she did not have a say in it, because I know she's been getting a lot of a lot of hate because of her wrestling with guys, especially from fans who are more conservative and whatnot. But I have to reiterate, especially to her fans, like, you should blame it on me, not her, because like she's getting a lot of heat from the fans because of her wrestling with guys, but it's all me.
Yeah, no, but I don't think it should be a problem.
Yeah, yeah, but
because it's not. It's okay. One, it shouldn't be an issue to begin with, right? It shouldn't be an issue to begin with. It is. It's to a certain degree, it is a performative thing.
Yep.
Right. On the other hand, like, you genuinely don't have enough females on the roster.
Yeah.
And if you just decide to, like, you know what, we're not gonna let her wrestle because it's gonna be wrestling against guys and it's not cool and that kind of stuff, it just, then you're just adding unnecessary obstacles in front of this girl that really wants to do it. Yeah. And I've seen her work. She's like brilliant.
She's very, very good.
Yeah.
Like, even when she was in UK, when she was wrestling in Eve Pro Wrestling, a lot of the fans said that she had something that even the veterans didn't have.
Yeah.
and I would attribute it to the teachings that I've taught her. Is mainly to focus on storytelling than to focus on the things that you do in the ring, because a lot of wrestlers these days tend to forget that the simpler the match is, the better it is. All you have to focus on the storytelling. Have you watched Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest match in wrestling? They marketed it that way, so it became very viral because apparently it was an amazing match. But it was a very simple match. All they did was focus on the emotion.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, people remember stories and they remember the feelings that they felt watching the match.
Yeah.
They remember the things that you do. So like she embodied that as well. She carried it even to the UK.
Yeah.
And the fans were surprised at like how mature she is in that sense.
Dude, but even like when it comes to storytelling, right? I think even at a very basic level that everyone, you know, if you have no idea what storytelling, basic storytelling is, I don't know, maybe this might be a bad example. Just let me know if it's a bad example.
Okay.
Pretty much, any recent Brock Lesnar matches from the last few years. All right, they're short matches, 3 moves, tops.
Yeah, exactly.
But you see, like the one he did with Daniel Bryan. Yeah. I felt that in that match, yes, a lot of people will harp on the fact that he's just using the same move over and over again, but they forget why that move was being used over and over again. You know, like even when in the match with Cena, it's like, you know, the suplex city thing.
Yeah.
You know, why? It's so strange, right? This guy can obviously do like all kinds of moves.
Yeah. We've seen him do a lot of moves.
Yeah,
back then when in the Ruthless Aggression era, right? He did a lot of crazy things.
But when he came back against Cena, one move, suplex. German suplex all the way, and it became a thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know, like that to me, if you don't understand how storytelling works in wrestling, something as simple as that, you know, pretty much explains it. You know, you don't need fancy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah. Like all right, a few good examples I can give is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Do you see him doing fancy stuff?
Yeah, no.
But he earns like millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
Just doing Lutez press, smart hole stomping, showing the finger, stunning. That's it.
Yeah, right.
The same goes to The Rock as well. Like back then he was a top star, but all he did was spinebuster, people's elbow, raise his eyebrow,
and that's it.
Rock bottom. That's it. He make millions.
Yeah.
John Cena is 5 moves of doom. He's still making John Cena money, right? So why are these people making so much money when they're doing simple stuff?
Yeah.
Because they have the ability to tell great stories and they have the ability to evoke the emotions of the audience.
Yeah.
Like people complain like Brock Lesnar just doing German suplex, he's boring, but every time when his match is advertised, they want to go and watch.
Yeah.
So
you can't deny that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like back then Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
You know the matches are not gonna. You know you're not paying for like a 5-round fight, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Mike Tyson is like wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You're like you buy the ticket and it's not cheap, even for pay-per-view and all that, right?
Yeah.
And if the Mike Tyson match comes on and you go to the toilet, by the time you come back, the match is done.
Yeah.
Right. But he was still a top draw.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people love the story of like this guy, who like just killer instinct, one killer punch.
Everybody wants him killed. So
Yeah.
Same goes with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why he's doing all this stupid stuff. You know, the walk
Yeah.
and the trash talk and the insulting. It's because he wants to sell the fight. But then when he fight, macam tu je lah. There's nothing special about it. But
which I think like because I remember in the early days of UFC, they tried to stay away from this. I would say like the wrestling style,
the
of,
feuds and the
feuds and that
showmanship.
stuff. But now they
milk
they
it.
bring it, they milk it.
Exactly.
And to their benefit, because
Yeah.
it adds a story
Correct.
to an otherwise undescribable situation.
Exactly.
Right? You can only say 2 guys fighting in the ring for so many times, right?
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. And then like half the time people are like, okay, I don't know who they are. I don't particularly care. You know, like to the layman, right?
Yeah. So
But
they have to tell a story about it. Like for example, even in MMA, like for example, Ronda Rousey versus what was the chick who beat her?
Not Cyborg, is it?
Was it Cyborg? I think it was Cyborg.
Cyborg,
Yeah. So in that match, they had to tell the story of how Cyborg made her way to become a number 1 contender, and how Ronda Rousey is the undefeated champion and so on and so forth, because it helps to tell a story to the fans. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this girl is undefeated, and this girl made her way from the bottom up to the top.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing fight, because there's a story behind it. But if they were just to advertise without doing the video package,
Yeah.
the background, the backstory and whatnot, then you'd be like, oh, this is just
Just
another fight.
two amazing athletes going at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's the same applies with wrestling.
Yeah.
All you have to do is tell a story and know how to play with the emotions of the audience. That's it.
So like how okay, the storytelling and all this is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But showing up to the gym day after day,
Yeah.
that is another.
Uh-huh.
Like is that an issue, or like between yourself and also your students, and or is it like understood, okay, we want to do this, we got to do this?
Okay, so that's the thing with wrestling is a very, very physical business. Your physical appearance plays a very important role. For example, people want to see, like larger than life characters fight.
Yeah.
If they want to see some everyday Joe fight some other guy, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Right? So in wrestling, if you notice, all the bigger guys are the ones who are getting pushed. Why? Is because they look the part. It's just like if you watch a film, a movie, like you wouldn't cast an out of shape dude to become Wolverine,
Yeah.
for example, because Wolverine is supposed to look, like shredded like a beast.
Yeah, exactly.
So the same goes with wrestling. You are playing characters, and for you to convince the audience that you're actual fighters, you have to look at least like a fighter.
Yeah.
So you have to show up to the gym. You have to eat clean. You have to look like an athlete if you
Yeah.
want to become a good wrestler. And I realized that, and I really, really focus on that as well. Like I train 6 days a week, close to 2 hours every day.
Dang.
I wake up 5 in the morning. I go to the gym at 6:30. And then I get everything done by 9, so I can focus on my work and my business and whatnot. And then I go to bed usually at 10 or 9, and then I wake up at 5. So the process repeats over and over again.
But I'm sure like during the course of all this, you've had injuries before, right? So
Oh.
how did you deal with those?
Injuries, it's something that comes with the business.
Yeah.
My first injury ever was a dislocated knee. It was during training. It was as simple as a collar elbow lock up.
Yeah.
And then the guy was pushing me down, and as I was pushing up back, because of the wear and tear from my fight experience, because before I was a pro wrestler, I was also a prize fighter. I did MMA and Muay Thai, right?
Okay.
So the wear and tear from that and the stunts just finally tore. So the ligament here tore, and then my kneecap went to the side,
Yeah.
dislocated, and so on and so forth. So I've been battling with that until today, because I'm the breadwinner of the family, so I
Yeah.
can't go for surgery. If I go for surgery, I have to be out of action for 6 months. Cannot do stunts, I cannot do filmings, I cannot do wrestling,
Yeah.
I can't train people in the gym.
Yeah.
So it's something that I can't do. So I've been managing it all this while. But so far I found the formula to how to take care of my knee, which is a
Alright,
good thing.
alright.
But besides that, I have a lot of when I did a full MRI scan, apparently I have 14 problems.
14.
14 problems all over. From my wrist to my shoulders to my elbow to my lower back,
Oh gosh.
so on and so forth. And then I think a lot of people who follow my social media knew that in February I suffered a concussion from a
Yeah.
match. I'm not going to name or shame anyone,
Yeah.
but basically the concussion is probably the worst injury that I've suffered. So I was hospitalized for almost a week,
Oh,
because I would always faint. I would always there was a time when I would my eyes just couldn't see.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that made me panic the most, because like working out, and then suddenly you see nothing, like you go blind, like shit, like what can I say?
What just happened? Yeah. Good.
So like what just happened, because like I cannot see anything, and then passed out. So finally hospital took me in after the third time of me passing out in the span of a week after the match. So hospital brought me in, because like the first time I passed out, they were like, oh, penat kot gym. Second time, oh, maybe dehydrated.
I like how they look at you, someone who clearly knows what he's doing in the gym,
Exactly.
who clearly has a lot of experience, and like, oh, he forgot to drink water lah. That's why he forgot to drink water. He got tired. It's like, gosh.
So the third time I passed out, then the doctor checked. It's like, yeah, what? Dah masuk hospital kan? For this past week twice kan? Yeah. So this is the time. Yes. She straight away brought me in. She did checks and scans and whatnot, MRI and everything. And then from the MRI, they saw that I have concussion. So the concussion has been around for, I think it was about 3 weeks. At that point, it was
3 weeks. Damn.
3 weeks after the concussion. So it was already healing up. It wasn't as swollen as it's supposed to be, but then I was suffering post-concussion syndrome, so like depression, anxiety, all these tremors and migraines and random nosebleeds, so on and so forth. But thankfully after the MCO, because I didn't train, I didn't go to the gym, I just stayed at home.
Yeah.
For the past 3 months, I haven't suffered any symptoms whatsoever.
Okay.
But I still have to go to get one last MRI check to make sure it's totally cleared before I can continue.
Damn.
Yeah.
But that's the scary part about like athletic industries, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The whole one injury could just wipe out your career.
Exactly.
Just like that. So, I mean, we talk about like business and all kind of stuff. So has that part of has that possibility been addressed yet? Like if that were to happen, like if an injury puts you on the shelf, like is there a I know you're not a plan B kind of guy, but like
but when it comes to things like this, there's a plan B definitely, because especially being a family guy, like you want to make sure that my family's taken care of.
Yeah.
So I have an insurance in place, but hopefully it works, because sometimes you can't claim for certain things, especially when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah.
But it's just there for security. But besides that, the best that I can do is work the safest that I can, and I choose my opponents because I prefer to work with people with experience.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're doing, they don't take care of me, so on and so forth. So moving forward is just about me managing as much as I can, because accidents do happen in the ring.
Yeah.
But we have to try and manage the best that we can. Yeah.
But at some point in your career, you have to like take time off to like sort out.
To rejuvenate.
Yeah, to rejuvenate, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Get like all the Regeno King and all
Yes,
this.
it's a good thing.
All the stem cells in your body.
It's a good thing that in Southeast Asia, or especially in Malaysia, like we do shows once a month. Like before MCO, it was once a month. So it's a good thing, because like in the States, sometimes you have to work every day, 5 days a week, so on and so forth. So once a month is still very manageable for me. I don't know how it will be when I start working with ROW.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
gonna be
like
nuts, man.
5 days a week.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
All right. Okay, we're gonna take a break now, and then we're gonna come back for part 3.
Hey there! If you like this podcast, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Stephen Bones Everything Facebook page, YouTube channel, Instagram, and more. You can also find us on Podbean. Don't forget, this podcast is available wherever all good podcasts are. Not saying that this is a good podcast, it's just available where all good podcasts are. If you wish to advertise on this podcast, or if you just want to send money, drop us an email at stevenboneseverything@gmail.com. We'll get the better email next time. But for now, stevenboneseverything@gmail.com.
And we're back for round 3, the final round for this one.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Right. So, okay, speaking of final round, just now we were talking about, the concussion, which was like scary. Because in any other line of work, you get a concussion, you're like, okay, just don't get another one. But in your line of work, there is that possibility of like, like if I cannot recover from this, that I cannot perform anymore.
Yep.
Right. So we were talking about like, having that happen to you, it must have made you realize that, I need, like, I don't want a plan B, but I kind of need a plan B. So we mentioned that we talked about like how the plan B was going to be focusing on the business end, right? Yeah. So I think that's a sound strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in life, you always have to have a backup. I mean, like, always aim for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Yeah. And I think I've been repeating this with a lot of my friends, like about this whole MCO thing during this MCO period, is that if anything, this whole COVID-19 pandemic and all that, right? Whether it's on a government level, a national level, or a individual level or family level, it kind of exposes whatever flaws you have in your game, and it makes you painfully aware of them.
Yep.
Right. So I think during this period, you got to see like, oh, this is what it's like if like my industry like is potentially like wiped out. Not that it is, but it's like, this is what it looks like lah.
Yep.
So from there, I guess like the focus, the fact that you started focusing on the business end of it, like, it was a big relief to you, right?
Yeah. because there's a lot of potential in pro wrestling. It's just that before this, I haven't really focused on the business end of it.
Yeah.
But because of my injury, that was when I was forced to like, you know what, I have nothing else to do. Let's just focus on how to grow this company, because it's been 6 years now and we haven't grown to the level where I want it to be. So what's wrong? That's when, like you said, like I had time to reflect like exactly what is wrong with the company. So for me, it's branding, it's marketing. It's about not wanting to invest in these things. It's also about not doing proper networking. So all of these things I've studied. Like I took short courses and so on and so forth, because a lot of these courses were on discount during the lockdown period. It's like some of them were like 80% off, 50% off. So that's, why not just belajar as much as you can, right? Because I'm the kind of guy who wants to be productive, but I also understand there are people out there who, you know, like during this period they just want to do nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's I would say that the whole lockdown thing is a whole new kind of trauma and stress.
Yeah.
Because you are forced with something that you don't know what's going to happen, so on and so forth. Some people, they react a different way. Yeah. But for me, it was all about being productive.
My deal with it was that, look, I understand people want to be productive, like you and myself, like during this MCO, like we've done as much as we could, you know, just to keep ourselves sane and try to build something bigger down the line, right? But I'm totally okay with people who decide not to do anything as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because honestly, at some point, it is your life, right? And if you went in with the mindset of, you know what, I don't want to do anything because that's my goal of not doing anything is to like decompress or whatever. Yeah, fine. But it's when there is no goal, then it's a bit okay. Then you're just kind of like throwing time away, and then, you know. But again, if that's what you want, fine. Yeah. But at the same time, you kind of can't expect something to turn up when nothing was done. Yeah, that's true. You know, so
like for example, like one of the things that I noticed being shared a lot by business people during this phase was they say things like, if you don't do what you've always wanted to do during this period, it's not because of the lack of time. It's because you're not committed. Yeah. Or they have quotes that go that for example, like if you're not productive in this period, and then you're just wasting time, so on and so forth. Yeah. But then we have to understand about the whole mental game. Like everyone has different capacity. Like for me, being productive is what rejuvenates me. Yeah. But some people, just watching Netflix and makan-makan is what rejuvenates them.
That's all they need, yeah.
That's why some of them, you know, like do all this dalgona coffee. Yeah, I know. And then they like to bake.
Every Chinese guy on my Facebook feed, right, is making like suyok for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. So it's how they whatever they choose to do in their time is, as long as it helps them to stay sane, then do it by all means.
And I think it brings us to this next point of like, at some point, right, I think if you're focused on your journey, that you kind of shut out a lot of noise from the outside, from other people. And I think when you're able to, like, when all that noise gets tuned out automatically, right, that means you're in a very good zone. Because that means you're not affected by, say, you know, I can imagine there are people out there go on their Facebook feeds or whatever, right? I was like, oh, yeah, this guy is like not doing anything. He's like making coffee and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And they're judging.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
You see a lot of that actually.
Yeah. But when you're busy, like with your own hustle and like, you know, and although everything's from home, but you still feel like there's not enough hours in a day to get everything done. You do not have time to like you do not have any like space in your head left to allocate for that kind of judgment and all this kind of stuff.
Things,
yeah, and when they judge you, you don't have time to like bother with them as well. You know, which I think is a good space. So, I think there kind of needs to be a bit more of that out there, where people, not to say stay in your own lane, but instead of worrying about everybody else, like work on you. Yeah. Work on yourself. Like do something that you can, you know, build yourself up so that you can help others and, you know.
Yeah, like one of the things I would always tell people is that this is when they come to complain to me. Like if it's on their Facebook feed, then antak kau lah. But then if they come and complain to me, like, you know, this guy I see him always doing this stuff online, suddenly doing all these Facebook videos. Nobody even watches. And then I always ask him like, does that bother you? Yeah lah, so annoying. See all his posts. Why is it annoying? Is it because of him, or is it because you just being
right?
It's like, as long as they tak kacau you, then you just,
what's the problem?
Yeah, what's your problem? This is do your own stuff lah. Why you want to kacau him? Let him do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Like for me, I'm so happy when I see like friends posting an update, like whether they're making their own videos or they're doing something, because I'm like, hey, good on you, man. You're doing something.
Exactly.
You're doing something, and like if they're making videos and sharing it out, I'm like, hey, that's like really cool as well, because you're putting it out there for people to see.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people forget that it takes a certain amount of courage to be willing to put something out
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
So when people just go like, oh yeah, nobody watches or whatever, no. You don't like it lah.
Yeah. Diam lah.
Yeah, that
Let others enjoy it.
yeah. Let the one person who got some good out of it enjoy it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Even if nobody enjoyed it, the person who posted it, he enjoyed it.
Yeah,
What's
that's
the
true.
problem?
Exactly.
There are people posting like genuinely horrible things out there.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Even till today.
even to today.
Even till today.
So what's wrong with someone if they just want to post like their workout like every day on my feed? I've got like at least 5 friends doing push-ups.
Yeah.
To
And
raise
then,
awareness.
And then you also have another 5 friends who says like, so annoying seeing everyone doing push-ups. You know, that kind of things. Like,
it's this strange chamber lah. So what I've started to do is like I just don't engage anymore. If I sense that if I sense that okay, if I type anything here, that it will like to try to counter this negativity, right?
yeah.
If I type this in, if it feels like it will feed the loop, I'd rather not.
It definitely will fit the loop,
Exactly.
unfortunately.
So half
because,
the time it's just like don't bother.
yeah, don't bother.
Yeah, because
So,
the more you feed it, the more the beast grows, man.
like, I believe it's best to feed our energy to these people. You know, like encourage them,
Yeah.
share their videos, even give them a like. You
Yeah.
know, like, because this is what makes them be appreciated. You know, like, oh, I actually spent time and effort doing this video, and then someone actually liked it. Yay.
Yeah. Okay, but have you ever been like burnt out in the process of like building this business? Because 6 years in, man, and I've seen you have been full on, like the whole process. So have you ever mentally, how has it been for you?
There are actually a lot of downtimes actually. Probably in a year I take two downtimes, and you don't see like I'm taking downtime mainly because I still appear as the face.
Yeah.
But I have my students like Double K and Gotham and whatnot, Raza. They are the ones who help me run the show while I'm taking a break. So as they run the show, sometimes when they need me, then I'll show my face, of course, and then I'll rest back. So I do have my downtimes. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I have my downtimes, only when I really feel like, you know what, guys, I need to take a break from this. I believe I've brought you guys up to a point where you can continue without me. So just go ahead first. When I'm all good, I'll join you guys again.
All right. Cool. So like the whole thing about going to Texas, like how are you preparing yourself for it, like physically and mentally? And everything?
Mentally, I'm ready. Like, I'm already there. I'm already at Houston.
Already got your accents ready. What's up, Cowboys?
And I still remember there was a point when I went to Dallas, Texas,
Yeah.
and I was ordering ice water, right? So like when for us we used to say ice water,
Yeah.
and the Malaysian accent, right?
Water.
and then the waitress could understand like, sorry, excuse me, like water, ice water, sorry, water. Oh, okay,
water.
Got it. So, okay, now I know. So I have to like roll my R's there and then thread on the T's. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But mentally I'm there. I'm just ready to perform. I'm excited. Cannot wait. Physically I'm still going to the gym almost every day, even on Sundays. So it's like 7 days a week just to stay in shape, because as soon as the travel ban is down, they'll fly me there and start recording shows there.
So like how do you maintain yourself physically? Because as much as it's all you,
Yeah.
like I do see like you're getting like physiotherapy, like there's a lot of meal prep stuff, there's a lot of nutrition stuff. So like are you working with like nutritionists and like
Okay, so
experts
like
or-
for nutrition, I'm very well versed with fitness nutrition. So I calculate my own stuff and everything. I create my own meal plans. But then when it comes to meal prep, my wife and myself, we started a company called Hypertrophy.
Okay.
So basically we help people meal prep. for those who are busy. Let's say, for example, if you go to office and then you want to eat healthier, we deliver to you healthy lunch.
That's nice because a lot of all these delivery services that start off trying to be healthy, they don't end up.
That's true. And most of the owners themselves, like they don't actually practice what they preach.
Because they try. It's like they're catering to the guys who want to eat semi clean.
Correct. And also, we mostly, like most of my clients are actual athletes and bodybuilders because they understand the importance of eating precise. I use the words precise. So my wife has been cooking for me like every day, like my entire meal and everything. All I have to do is just eat. So she prepares it. Like even in my car, I have like a few containers of food that I can eat anytime. So it's within my calculations. But when it comes to physiotherapy, I'm sponsored and I'm an ambassador for Precise Rehab.
Okay.
So they help service my body. Like whenever I'm burned out or I'm in pain or like...
You have a meter that just keeps...
Exactly. I'll just go to them and they'll fix me up. And what I love about them is that like after every 1 or 2 sessions, you'll feel great. Like I've been to rehab centers before and unfortunately... because it's a business, you know, so they try to fix you sikit-sikit and then they leave some part there. Okay, come back for the next session. Can I have to pay some more? Then come back for the next session. Then you tell them like here is pain, but here's also pain. Then they'll just do one, so you come back for another one. But when you go to Precise, these guys are amazing. Within that hour, they'll try to do as much as they can on you.
They try to fix you up for the long haul.
Yeah, exactly. And the first time I met them was at a wrestling show. They sponsored. They sponsored like physiotherapy for the wrestlers backstage.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that was the first time I actually experienced physiotherapy that worked. Like I went there backstage, like, you know, low expectations. Like my back is not feeling too good. And then blah, 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 blah. Then after they did that, I became like so mobile and agile.
Ready for another match.
Yeah. So these guys are definitely amazing.
Dang. So okay, like food wise, like how do you approach it? Because I clearly have no clue when it comes to like dieting and all that kind of stuff. But you know, the food I see you eat actually like it's clean, but I mean it makes sense. Like, do you go through like seasons and phases? Like if you were trying to like get more protein in to get more growth or just sustain stuff, or
so
you eat differently for different situations, or
for every person out there, like there's an exact calculation of what you need for your body to function normally, but then there's also exact calculations of what your body needs if you want to put on muscle or what your body needs if you want to cut fat. So right now I'm in a phase where I'm on maintenance, so I'm just eating on maintenance level. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't know is that you don't have to eat, like even I'm selling healthy and clean food, but I'm not going to be the one who's going to force false advertising down your throat. You can actually eat whatever you want.
Okay.
Even if you want to lose weight. As long as you know the calculations, as long as you know your calorie intake, your protein, carbs and fat intake, you can eat ice cream, you can eat whatever you want. As long as you actually track what you're eating, you can still lose weight. Like for example, there was a time when I was just eating wholemeal bread with Nutella.
That sounds like a recipe for...
Exactly. And I was eating this just to prove a point that, you know, you can cut down fat with even Nutella. And people didn't believe me, and I actually lost 2 kilos in 2 weeks.
Oh,
just
dang.
Eating that. But it's not just a piece with Nutella. I eat like throughout the day. So I eat like probably like 2 loaves of bread with about 8 tablespoons of Nutella.
Wait, that means you ate nothing but...
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Because people say that Nutella is sugar, it's unhealthy, no. So there was even a point where the experiment continued. So I eat 3 meals a day, brown rice with salmon. And then I would always eat 200 grams of chocolate ice cream after each meal.
After each meal?
Yeah. 200 grams is actually sikit lah. It's about like a small bowl. So, but you have to weigh it betul-betul. You have to have a kitchen scale.
It's not what feels like 200 grams.
Yeah, exactly. So I still end up losing 1 kilo in that 1 week. So this proves that you can eat whatever you want as long as you know the calculation.
Dang. Okay.
What people believe to be healthy eating, clean food and everything is what the industry wants you to believe, because they want you to they want you to fall into the fitness hype and everything. Like organic oats. Oats is oats.
I still have a problem with kale. I don't know why kale exists. I understand why kale exists in the States. I don't know why it's here. I've seen it here. I'm like, why?
Asparagus as well.
Yeah, and I'm like, one day, like, people are gonna discover kangkong, and then kangkong is the next
Kangkong
superfood.
is the next superfood. Exactly. And then they'll package it and market it, and
you get
the
kangkong
price
juice.
is gonna be very expensive.
Yeah, you get kangkong supplements.
Exactly. So the whole industry is built out of marketing hype.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you have to take protein shakes to be bulky and everything. I don't even drink protein. I just eat salmon and chicken breast for my protein source. Yeah. So like don't fall for the fitness trap. Just educate. Right? Like say for example, if you want to know how to eat better, just educate yourself on the nutritional science, and then you're good to go.
Cool. Right. So yeah, for your food, this guy. Hypertrophy, right?
Hypertrophy.
Yeah, so we're gonna put that in the descriptions. Also, man, like, what do you have in store for MYPW and the business and the growings? And what do you foresee in your wisdom, the growth
so
of wrestling in Southeast Asia and Malaysia?
I think a lot of people have already catched up on my announcement that MYPW is now under MYPWA. It's a Malaysian Wrestling Association. We now have a governing body in pro wrestling in Malaysia. So we are under KBS Sports. A lot of people flame me for this. Like I get a lot of hate emails.
Why?
Because pro wrestling is not sports. Pro wrestling is fake.
What? I don't get this. I don't understand these people.
Exactly. Like don't you have any other better things to do than to flame me? Like
they could be out there doing sports.
Exactly. Yeah. So pro wrestling, they fail to realize that in first world countries like US, Canada, and Japan, pro wrestling is a sports. It's sanctioned and it's governed under the Sports Athletic Association. So same thing now with Malaysia. I think we are one of the first countries after these countries to be known as a sports.
Singapore, no, they haven't.
Singapore is not a sports; it's an entertainment.
Oh, dang! Okay.
Yeah. So like being a sports body now, we can officially get government support, and we can also get tax relief for sponsors who wants to pump in money and so on and so forth. So I can only see us growing further after this. And a lot of people still don't understand that Malaysia Pro Wrestling, MYPW, is actually a school promotion. A school promotion meaning that it is a platform for my students to perform in front of an audience, live audience. You know, like how an art school, you learn how to dance, you learn how to play the violin, the piano, and then they do a mini concert for you to...
Yeah, but the art school is not the one organising the stadium gig lah.
Yeah.
The art school does like the small ones,
Exactly. So it's a platform for them to get rid of the stage fright, for these art students and everything. But when it comes to pro wrestling, the same thing. We do shows on our own expenses, and we're losing money. But we're doing it for the students to gain the experience of working in front of a crowd. So a lot of people, when they watch MYPW, because of how the pageantry is, like how we make it look big, a lot of them think that, oh, these guys are rich, this guy got a lot of money. I want to be a pro wrestler because I can become superstar, rich and everything. But they don't understand it's a platform.
And then they're like, I have to set up the ring.
That one definitely is like, why do I have to do free labor? It's like, because...
I have to arrange the chairs.
Exactly.
But that's part and parcel.
Because you're still a student, you're still learning, you're a student of the game. Like, even me, myself, I'm still doing things, and I don't get any money from MYPW. In fact, like every show, we are losing money. Every show. I'm even not ashamed to admit this to everyone. Like, ever since we started, we haven't made a single cent, but we've been losing thousands of ringgit.
So there is a trend. Just
exactly
depends on the name of the pie chart.
Exactly. Why? Because it's for the growth of pro wrestling. These guys need experience to perform. So I have to do a show for them. Otherwise, if they perform sendiri, shot sendiri lah. Baik main wrestling kat bilik je. Because what makes you a true pro wrestler is you master the performative aspect of pro wrestling, which is in front of an audience. So we do shows even though we lose money is because of these boys. So they don't realize that, and fans don't realize that. They think that we're making money.
Everyone thinks that. Every audience thinks that every performer, as long as there's a show, that they're making big money.
Exactly.
I don't understand why.
And then like I always get like in a week I'll get like hundreds of this message like, oh jadi wrestler MYPW berapa gaji dapat? I'll be like, dude, this is a school promotion. So like my plan moving forward is because we already have an extensive roster, and those who have work, I say work as in I have matches. They have work a lot of matches even internationally. So we already have a deep roster that has experience. So it's about time for me to set up a professional promotion.
Nice.
So this is my plan in the future. I cannot tell when exactly, but it's definitely on the drawing boards. It's a professional promotion for me to finally put on a professional show and pay these guys.
Is it gonna be a regional thing where you're working with the guys from like Singapore and
The
Philippines
main
and all,
aim is
or?
to try to make it local first, Malaysia first. Once I grow, then I'll move regional. But I'd say that chances of this happening is very high because I've managed to secure like some backups and everything, so on and so forth. I've even sold some personal stuff to help fund this and everything, because I really want to grow this wrestling industry to become an industry where these wrestlers can actually make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, because kesian they put their body on the line.
Yeah.
They just want especially guys like Shirigale, Gotham, Double K, Phoenix,
Yeah.
Eman the Kid. They've been in MYPW for so long, but they're still students. So it's about time for me to make them become pros. So this is the platform that they want to be. And this platform will definitely be open for everyone across the region as well. And it will also be supported by a legend from the industry.
Oh, nice.
Which I cannot reveal yet, but I think most of you guys know who lah.
I
based on where
I
I'm
wonder.
based on where I'm going. I cannot reveal yet, but yeah.
It's not the mortician, right?
It's not the mortician.
Oh my gosh.
It's not the mortician.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, I wish you best of luck.
Thank you so much.
And man, pouring money into all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know how your wife's gonna feel about this. He's gonna do this bigger show where like the performers get paid and got money to do this, and she's like, "Where's my honeymoon?"
It will come soon.
It will come soon.
I promise you.
But man, okay. Anything else? You wanna wrap this up with? Do you wanna plug? We got hypertrophy.
Yeah, hypertrophy at MyPW. The new promotion is coming up. Just keep track
Keep
on
an eye out for that. Yeah.
on my Instagram and so on and so forth.
All right. Cool. All right. So once again, Shaukat Fonseca. Thanks for coming here, buddy. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, man.